Hi, I'm Chris from Simple Item. Today what I'd like to show you is what you will get when you order a Stair lighting kit from Simple Item. So here are the parts that you will receive. You'll receive a Stair lighting host, a cable harness, an LED driver, and of course the lights. Now these parts will vary depending on the size of the kit that you buy. Okay, so now I'll show you how all of these items connect together to make the Stair light kit work. Step one is going to be to unbox the Stair light master controller. So in this box you will receive some little shiny stickers. This will become obvious later. You will get your manual showing you how to wire the controller. You're also going to receive your master Stair light controller, and under here you'll receive two of the most important parts, which are your sensors and a small cable. Okay. So here's 3 cables. I'll show you what they're for soon. And here are your sensors. Okay, so the next step is to show you how all of this wires together, starting with the Stair light controller and the LED driver. So one very important observation here now is ensuring that you get the input and the output correct. So the input of a driver is the mains, and that means the plug into your socket, whereas the output of the driver is the low voltage side. So when we're talking about input and output, we're talking about connecting the driver to your mains, to your power, and then connecting the output to your Stair light controller. And the same here now. So you've got the input, which is where we're going to connect the low voltage side, the output of the driver to the input of the controller, and then the output of the controller will then go to the lights. Now, there are 2 ways of doing this. In the box, you will get these 2 pieces. However, currently our driver actually doesn't use these. So we're going to almost discard these 2 pieces for now, but you might find a better solution than us for them. So instead, what we will use is a pre-wired end of the LED driver. So your blue wire is always going to be your negative, your minus, and your brown wire is always going to be your positive, which is the plus. And you'll see on the Stair light controller that you'll have V plus for your brown and V minus for your blue. So here, these little flaps open and they expose the terminals. So you'll need to unscrew to loosen them, which I've already done. Okay, as you can see now, I've got the cables into the controller. So we've got the brown wire into the V plus, we've got the blue wire into the V minus. Most importantly now, just make sure these are nice and tight. Just give them a little tug, and they obviously shouldn't move. Once that's done, pop that clip down to add a little bit of further protection to your controller. And the next part now is going to be to connect the cable harness into your output. So the driver connects to the input, the harness connects to the output. Let's pop this back down. So talking about the cable harness, this is obviously quite a long piece of wire, so it does get tangled. Where are we? There we go. So one thing you'll notice on the cable harness is you have these, what they call T connectors. So if you have 6 lights, you should have 8 T connectors. If you have 10 lights, 12. If you have 14 lights, 16 T connectors. Reason for that is at the start and the end of the harness, which we'll show you shortly, that's where you connect your sensor. So it's lights plus 2 more. So I've got 6 lights, I've got 8 T connectors on this cable. Now we will deliver to you in the kit the number of T-connectors needed for the kit. No more than that. So if you needed more than say 8, you'd have to buy a larger kit, or you can buy all the parts individually and tell us how many T-connectors you need on our website. Okay, so what we now need to do is connect one end of this harness to the output of the Stair controller. Now here, because it's low voltage, your black wire is your V minus, is your negative, and your red wire is your positive, which is your V plus. Exactly the same here. Now we're going to lift the lid, unscrew, and pop these cables in. Okay, so as you can see here now, I've connected the harness to the output of the Stair light controller. As I said, red, which is V plus, and black, which is V minus. Now, one thing that I didn't say, and I probably should have said at the start of the video, is if you don't know how to do this and you don't know electrics, we'd recommend that you call a professional. Electrics can be dangerous, so just be a bit careful. You'll see during this entire process, this driver is not switched on. Obviously that's really important because you wouldn't want to get a shock. Okay, so now we're here, I'm just gonna close that over. And that is that. So this is how you wire the driver to the controller. And then, as I say, into your harness. So the next part of the step is going to be to connect this to your phone and to, well, you'll see why these little shiny stickers are here, because it'll be to basically number each one of these to each step. So I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so the next step that we need to do now is get power into your Stair controller. For that, we need to plug in the LED driver into your mains or power that up. What will happen is, I don't know if you can see on camera or not. You might be able to just see a faint blue light there and a little link above the little link button. Just gonna pop that back down. There we go. So we need to download the app. So the app I'm going to download is going to be Smart Life. You can download Tuya or Smart Life. I've already got that. So I'm going to open the app. I'm already logged into the app. I'm just going to go out of that and back in, and hopefully it will pick up the Stair. There we go. So it's immediately found that the Stair controller is there. The reason it didn't say before is because I'd just been in the app and I hadn't closed it. So let's add that. And it should bind this phone to that Stair controller. You can see it's done now. Okay, so now we press done. So what we now need to do is go to set, and we need to basically code each one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's why you got these little stickers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Yep. Okay, so the next step now is pairing the lights to the controller, so it knows if it's step 1 or step 6 and so on. Okay, so in the box you would have got this short cable. Just going to open the cable up. Somehow. Here we go. And on the controller, I'm not sure if you can see, you've got a little port there. So we're going to plug that into the port. That'll clip in. And we're going to pair 1 to 6 individually, one by one. So, light number 1, plug it in, press right, and the light will flash. Unplug it. Light number 2. Plug it in. You'll see the number now says 2. If you can see the phone, I'll show this to you. You press right, and the light will flash. And we're going to do this until we hit the final step, which in this case is going to be step number 6. And each time, if you've done it right, you should get a flash. Now, if you do notice that the colour was different there, don't worry, because these lights are basically trio colour, so you get all 3 LED colours on these. For some reason, one was just set to the other colour. There we go, and finally, number 6. Plug it in. Now, what I've been doing while I've been doing this is just making sure that in the app, the number goes up from, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 while I'm doing it. So I'd just be a little bit conscious of just making sure that the number's increasing each time that you pair a light. Of course, if you have 10 lights, you're gonna have 10 stickers, you're gonna be doing it 10 times. We're doing it 6 times. Final one, right in. There we go. So these lights are now programmed, and there was a reason now why we numbered them. Because if you didn't number them, how do you know what steps what? So that's a really important tip when you do this. Make sure you number them, make sure you know exactly what step is what. Okay, so now we can unplug this cable out because that doesn't need to be used anymore. Sadly, a bit of e-waste. Here we go. And now we're going to get the sensors. So now what we can do is actually start plugging these in one by one. So as I said, if you have 6 steps, you have 8 T connectors. The sensor will take up the first T connector and the last T connector. Always has to be that, because it's going to detect when you're at the top of the stairs or at the bottom of the stairs. So one sensor lives at the top, one sensor will live at the bottom. So I'm just going to plug into the first T connector, the sensor. Now, you then need to pair this, and to pair this, you hold that button for 3 seconds, just count in your head, 1, 2, 3, and it should be paired. There we go, got a light on now. So you can see that's now detecting. So we're going to plug light 1 in. Don't know how we're going to organise this on the table yet, but hopefully my assistant will help me. Number 2 is not this one. 3. See, I've been a little bit disorganised. I've threw all these lights in a pile. There we go. Number 2 into harness number 3, or T connector number 3, I should say. Next connector will go into the third light. Then we'll connect into your 4th. And then into connector number 5. No, I think I've been given the wrong connector there actually. Connector number 5. Now, if you've done this wrong as an example, and you put, say, number 6 into number 4, what you'd actually notice is the step number 4 and step number 6 wouldn't turn on correctly. So that's why it's important to do it and number it all. There we go, and that's the 6th light. Now, finally, I'm going to do my second sensor. So if you imagine this is like bottom of the stairs and this is going to be top of the stairs, I'll show you now. Let's connect this into here. Just going to hold this for 3 seconds. Okay. Maybe you saw that on the camera there, the light should have flashed. And that is how you set this up. Now, before we start, you go into settings. Your first setting there, steps, is asking how many steps. It's going to change this down to 6. Okay, so now what we've done is try to nicely kind of lay the lights out on the table for you, so you can see almost envisage step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on up to step 6. What I'll do is, I suppose, press demo mode and just show you how the lights kind of come on and how they go off. There we go. Okay, so this is what they call following mode, so effectively the lights kind of go on and go off as you're going up the stairs. There are other settings in there that you can do, such as just all on at the same time and all off at the same time when it detects movement. We'd always say to customers, just, you know, play about in the app and figure out what suits them, what suits their home. But other than that, if you have any questions, please do contact us at simplelighting.co.uk. You can email us at support@simplelighting.co.uk. All our teams in the UK, you can speak to people on the phone as well if that's better. But hopefully this kind of gives you a bit of an idea of how to set the Stair light kits up. Thank you.